H1 Unlimited Hydro Racing is one of the most exciting spectacles you'll ever see. Powered by turbine engines and World War II era Allison V12s, these hydros reach speeds of nearly 200 miles per hour, leaving 60-foot-tall rooster tails in their wake. The 2023 season kicks off in Guntersville, Alabama, where Corey Peabody looks to defend his win from last year, but the competition seeks to steal the Southern Cup from his grasp. Can you handle the waves? Find out now. Hi everybody and welcome to beautiful Guntersville, Alabama. Speed Sport 1 is proud to be able to bring you something that you may not have seen before. And if you have, I guarantee it's something that you haven't forgotten. Well, it's back. The H1 Unlimited Hydros are set to roar to life this year on Speed Sport 1. So be sure to tune in to the entire 2023 season for all the great on-the-water action. High speeds and hot summer days. Doesn't get much more American than that. For more on what hydro racing is all about, let's go straight to the source. Here are the drivers with their thoughts on H1 Unlimited Racing.
Rush.
Wild.
First off, it's the pinnacle of boat racing, but it's also the fastest sport on water.
It's what every little kid wants to do when he's a young boat racer.
A fast boat with a jet engine in it that turns left.
Very fast, and that's why I do it.
We're doing an average speed of over 160, and our straightaway speeds are closer to 200 miles an hour.
They're like an airplane. They're flying on top of the water.
You're bouncing all over the place, and you're trying to feel what the boat is doing.
That feeling of going 200 across the water is pretty awesome. Finding the edge and walking it is the fastest way around the race course.
It is a spectacle for sure.
Side-by-side racing. You know, you're deck to deck. When you see 5 rooster tails right next to each other, that's 2 tons of water going up.
Just that pucker factor, you really drive it off your butt, you know, you want that feeling, you know, when the boat's flying.
Until you see a 200-mile-an-hour race boat go through a corner side by side, pulling 6 Gs, you've never seen anything like it.
It's the elite drivers, elite crews, elite teams. It's the top level.
This is the goal. We want to race for the Gold Cup and win championships.
The most amazing sport in the world, that's what I'd say. Unlike any other motorsport out there.
The biggest, fastest power boats in the world.
It's the absolute pinnacle of boat racing.
Yeah, you know, we're just a bunch of good old boys going boat racing.
It's just a lot of fun.
Are you new to hydroplane racing, or maybe you're just looking for a quick refresher on the rules? Either way, let's get you up to speed with a little Hydro 101. Each event is broken down into 3 sessions: qualifying, preliminary heats, and the final. For qualifying, a driver's best lap in a 3-lap run determines their qualifying speed. The preliminary heats are 3 laps, and the final is 5 laps long. Points are awarded after each session and accumulate throughout the season to determine the national high point champion. The winner of the final is the winner of that event. Got it so far? Good. Now let's talk about the racing in the heats and the final. At 5 minutes before the start, the boats can leave the dock and head to the course. And that's when the action really begins. Drivers race to get into the best lane, and they must stick to that lane in the turns. But there are rules, and if you disobey the rules, you get a penalty. The drivers must maintain a minimum speed of 80 miles per hour during this period, and a penalty is enforced for breaking the rules. The goal is to be as close to the starting line as possible when the 5-minute clock hits 0. But if you get there too soon, you'll receive a 1-lap penalty. As the clock hits 0, the race is on, and the laps start to count down. From there, it's up to the drivers to brave the waves to determine which one comes out on top and brings home the win. That's a little Hydro 101. For more info on the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane series, check out their website. It's amazing. In the early days of the sport, surviving a horrifying wreck was rare. But due to the safety measures taken over the years, while the worst can still happen, drivers typically end up walking away from wild rides like these.
Boat racing in general is a dangerous thing inherently, so we try to take as many safety precautions as possible. So to start off, we're essentially in the cockpit of an F-16 fighter jet. That's what's going to be keep us safe from any of the elements on the outside. Once we're inside that though, we have a 6-point harness, Hans device, 5-layer Nomex suit, helmet on with the air mask. We have 2 escape hatches out of it. We have spare air in case our original mask is ripped off. We like to take as many safety precautions as we can to make sure that we're doing things the right way.
We have really focused on safety, and the big thing is that capsule that you see behind me. Every year what we do is we do what's called a capsule test, and so they take us to a pool, they'll take one of those, it's cut out of the boat, and they'll spin you around until you're disoriented, and then you have to get yourself out. Our goal is to stay calm, make sure we're breathing, and to get ourselves out, or if we can't, then the rescue crew comes and gets us out as well.
One of the challenges of being strapped into a confined space is you could possibly be underwater. We run on a full-time air system through an F-16 fighter mask with a scuba diver regulator on it. And we have approximately between 20 and 30 minutes worth of air. So we can take our time, check ourselves out, and safely get out of the boat if we need to.
People will often ask, how do you keep the water from filling up? They're actually designed to fill up with water. So once they fill up with water, then you can open the hatch to get out and equalize the pressure. There's also rescue divers that'll help get you out of the boat. They're trained at all the different aspects of the sport, to where they can come up and plug their air lines into our air mask and help us get out of the boat.
We got an escape hatch on the bottom of the boat if we do end upside down that we can get out of, and unfortunately I've had to do that 4 times in my racing career. So not something you always want to have to do, but it is a nice thing to have to be able to get out of a race boat when something like that does happen.
We used to kill a lot of people in this sport, just like Formula One and the other motorsports, and they've progressed. There was a lot of smart people got together, and they've taken it from when I first started wearing a parachute and hope that slowed you down and the boat didn't hit you, to where, you just take your time, get yourself turned around and open the hatch and get out.
It's changed over the years as we figured things out, and when they made the egg style cockpit and all that, later in time, what we use now, and it's really safe. I blew this boat over last year in Madison, Indiana, and I actually ripped the whole left side of this boat off. It was gone. I was fine. I walked off that boat and I was just fine. I could have raced the next heat because of the way the safety stuff that we have.
In any sort of motorsport, there's always that risk of, what can happen, what might happen, and probably will happen inevitably, no matter how safe we make this. But, I think at the end of the day, that's part of the fun. We're doing something not everyone else gets to go do, and if you can go be responsible and push this thing to the limit, and take care of yourself and everyone else around you, we should all come home at the end of the day.
Thanks to the series safety initiatives, we're able to go out and have fun in some awesome rides like these. The boats are headed to the water. Stand by for the world's fastest water sport.
Hello and welcome to Guntersville, Alabama, here for H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. We've got a lot of great action coming up, and these turbine-powered hydroplanes, last year's winner, Corey Peabody, definitely has a target on his back, but can't count out the lone piston power of Jimmy King. And it's all coming up here next.
I'm a 4th generation boat racer, so my great-grandfather started the tradition in the 1920s, late 20s, early 30s. My mother and my father both raced hydroplanes, and that's actually how they met.
My father used to take me to the Unlimited races down in Detroit. I'm a mason by trade. My family's all been masons. No mechanical background at all, and I just saw them things run and said somehow, some way I'm going to get there, and by the grace of God, I was able to pull it off.
I'm 3rd generation. My grandfather and my great uncles and my dad and my uncle all raced. Yeah, and it's just stuck ever since. So now I got a 13-year-old that's also racing, so we're just kind of carrying on the family tradition.
I'm not a generational boat racer like some of the other guys here. My father and I, we got started racing as a family hobby. It's been a real positive influence in my life, and something that I fell in love with real young.
I have a lot of energy for the boat racing and really want to make one fan at a time, but obviously I want to get qualified. I'd be the first African American to do that. So to get fully qualified is something that will go down in history books and mean a lot to me.
I grew up going to the races with actually my teammate when we were little kids. We grew up 10 houses away from each other, so we've known each other from kindergarten to now.
I started in the outboard hydroplanes back in 1990. I was 10 years old. My dad got me started, and I've raced in almost every outboard class on my way up through the inboards.
I'm a third-generation boat racer, born and bred to do this. Started racing at 9 years old. It's my 22nd season racing boats. I've worked my way up through really the grassroots racing. Now have my shot to drive the U1 Miss Home Street and the H1 Unlimited series.
That's a cool little look at the racers and their backgrounds. In qualifying, it was Dustin Eccles who came out on top and set a new track record on the 2.5-mile layout at Guntersville. Defending race winner Corey Peabody would lay down the second fastest lap, edging out Andrew Tate, who was third. Points are awarded after every session, including qualifying, which go towards the season-long National High Point Championship. Here's Dave with Dustin.
Dustin, top qualifier out there, and I'll tell you, you're at least 4 miles an hour faster than everybody. Does that give you a good feeling?
It does. It's great to see our hard work finally pay off. We wait all off season to come out here and run these things, and we thought we were going to be fast, and we were pretty sure of it, but until you actually come out here and do it, you never know.
Well, one of the things, this is a larger course, 2.5 miles. Did that give you the ability to get a little bit higher speed out of it?
Absolutely, yeah. Our straightaway speeds were down a little bit, but our corner speeds were through the roof. So when you put it all together, it comes out to some really fast times. We did the math here a few weeks ago, figured out gearing, propellers. Kelly said, I think I have a propeller that might work for this. So he put it together and made it happen.
Basically, it's like re-gearing a car when you get the prop, different pitch angles.
That's exactly it, yeah. The pitch you can mess with, the finish on it, you can do quite a bit. And Kelly, he's a magician with this stuff. He makes them all in-house, and he will finish a propeller and he'll say, this one's gonna be a good one, and it does exactly what he says it's gonna do.
This year, the Unlimited Hydroplane racing family lost a legend. Jim Lero is considered by many to be the most successful crew chief in the sport's history. From 1968 to 1998, he amassed 69 wins, which is still unmatched in the series history.
Jim was a great competitor and a great innovator. He's an engineer and really, brought in this turbine power plant and the type of gearboxes and all the technical hurdles. It's not easy, and Jim did that very well.
Jim Lero probably had more influence and a better relationship with my father, who actually got the drive for Jim for 6-7 years probably. I was a little kid during that time, but he was always very good to me and my family. He was strictly business back then when he was the crew chief, and he's got the record to prove it. I mean, his record shows for itself, the winningest crew chief of all time.
I met him once, and man, what an amazing guy. And he just said, hey, I'd love to help you. I'd love to teach you what I know. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get a lot of that. That was just 2 years ago, and he passed just recently. So honored to at least have met him, because he's one of the amazing people in this sport.
Jim Lero passed away at the age of 77, a legend remembered.
Welcome back to Guntersville in the H1 Unlimited Hydros. The boats are out on the course, and as you can see, the countdown clock is ticking down. It's time to go racing. Here's Jeff Ayler and Brad Luce with the call.
Brad Luce, the season is about to begin for H1. I like the lineup. Let's get this party started. Leading the field up, looks like you'll get lane number 1, Dustin Eccles and Bucket List Racing. J. Michael Kelly coming into the 2 lane in the Beacon Electric. Jimmy King in the Turbinator, Griggs Ace Hardware in 3. Dylan Runny to the outside in 4. In Miss Home Street, We are approaching 30 seconds. Brad Luce, let's start this Southern Cup. Bring him to the green flag.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And it looks like J. Michael Kelly's going to claim lane number 1. I think Dustin Eccles is going to go in 2. I think the Terminator's going to go in 3. And then on the far outside and behind, as he is supposed to, is going to be Dylan Ronnie. But as we saw, the boats were down there too early. And Dustin Eccles is crawling up to the start-finish line here in the 40. We're inside 10 seconds until our start. We are on 5 seconds. We are 4, 3, 2, 1, mark, and we are racing in Heat 1A, presented by American Dumpster. I think we've got the 40 bucket list racing definitely across the start-finish line early, but until we get it legal, we will call them as they are on the water. Eccles is going to get out of the corner first, check that. It is J. Michael Kelly on the inside. He's got a lot of boats with him. He's got the Terminator. You can hear him on the outside. There is Eccles. He pulls up alongside J. Michael Kelly and now moves out by about a boat length, maybe a boat length and a half. He may have jumped, Jeff, but man, he's moving.
Start is under review. Eccles in front. He could be the culprit. Eccles in front. Kelly is there. The Terminator in third into turn number 2. Exciting dueling to begin the day, but is Eccles legal?
We'll call them as they are on the water until we hear it officially. Kelly with the inside lane position. Look at him right on the buoy row. Now it's Eccles on the outside. Whether he jumped or not, 2 of the fastest race boats in the world are tied together as they come across start finish line. Jeff, I think you've got an update.
We got a 1-lap penalty on your physical leader, Dustin Eccles, in the bucket list racing, the Tennessee Orange, down a lap for a gun jump. So your leader is the dominant red boat in turn number 1, J. Michael Kelly, in the Beacon Electric. That moves the Terminator, the turbocharged Allison up to second. Griggs Ace Hardware, Miss Homestreet in third. Eccles physically in front, but in fourth.
Yeah, he's in 4th place, so your leader is J. Michael Kelly, the red boat up the backstretch. That is the Beacon Electric. And if we have that information, so does J. Michael Kelly. That's why you see him letting the orange boat go. Let him go. That's not who he's racing against. However, in his right side rear view mirror, as Jeff calls him, the Terminator, the U3, the Griggs Ace Hardware, he is trying to make a move. Coming up on the outside of J. Michael Kelly. Dustin Eccles will come down. He will be our leader on the water, but he is actually running it forward. But Jimmy King is making a move, Jeff.
Brad, with Eccles getting that 1-lap penalty, he has come toward the inside, and Kelly's had to go outside his wake. Your official leader, here comes the turbocharged Allison, charging on the outside. This one is not over. American Dumpster, Unlimited 1A. It's the 2 dominant red boats. Kelly, your leader. Brad, the Terminator is right there.
Yeah, he's right there. The race is for 2nd place, except that is a race for 1st place. The 2 red boats. Kelly on the inside, King on the outside. This one is going to be close. It's going to be a charge to the finish line. Kelly with the lane position, but it is Jimmy King on the outside with an awful lot of boat speed. He's going to pack as much as he can into this corner. Now you see Dustin Eccles go way wide and give our leaders room to come down and race this out. There is Kelly. There is King. I think J. Michael Kelly will be able to hold him off. Dustin Eccles comes across, but on his inside, our winner of Heat 1A on the water, J. Michael Kelly, driving the Beacon Electric. 2nd place to Jimmy King, and the Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware. Holy smoke!
I'm here with the Unlimited U8 driver, J. Michael Kelly. You had a little bit of tough qualifying out there. You obviously made some adjustments to the boat because you came out as the 1A heat winner.
Yeah, no, we got a team that's very dedicated and they don't stop. I mean, it was, we ran well in qualifying. We ran better than we had in a long time, so we made huge strides in that area. But for that Heat 1A today, yeah, a few minor tweaks, and it just really played out into our favor. We always go into these things knowing that we have a really good chance of, running well, and as long as we put ourselves in the right position, things can work out well, and that's how it played out in that Heat 1A today.
We got a 3-boat heat, but it should be a good one.
Brad, these 3 drivers right now with the 3-boat heat, you definitely don't want to jump the gun, but you want to maintain your boat, run a clean race, score where you can, but the main thing is to stay clean, don't get in trouble.
Nielsen was behind the field, but he's got a lot of boat speed on the outside. Inside 5 seconds, we're 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark, and boy, I like that start. It looked good from here, but Jamie Nielsen nailed it in the U11 Legend Yacht Transport, but all three of them were tied together as they go down to the lower corner. On the inside, it's Andrew Tate with the lead, the U91 Goodman Real Estate, but it looks like one boat down there, but it is three, and there's Corey. Corey on the outside by a boat length. Tate and Corey Peabody, Jeff, they are really duking it out.
The start was good. Now Peabody extends his lead by a boat length and a half.
Watch the corner for Andrew Tate, right on the buoy roll of beauty, but Corey gave him enough room and was able to keep the speed up. This boat's been fast yesterday and today, that boat being the U9, Beacon Plumbing with Corey Peabody, your defending Lake Guntersville champion, running like a rocket, got a lot of speed off to his left, and a lot of good driving skill in there too with Andrew Tate.
We go above in turn number 2 with our drone. Peabody driving clean. Tate running out of time. Brad, bring him to the checkered flag and American Dumpster 1B.
It is on the outside. Corey Peabody driving the U9, the Beacon Plumbing for Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Checkered flag flies. Corey Peabody picking up a heat victory. In our Heat 1B presented by American Dumpster, it is Andrew Tate coming home in second place driving the Goodman Real Estate, and a very strong and good run for the U11 Legend Yacht Transport.
I'm here with Corey Peabody, driver of the U9 Unlimited Hydroplane. Corey, you just took the Heat 1B win. How are you feeling after this one?
I feel good. We have the boat dialed in really well. The team worked hard to get us a win, so really excited to get the Beacon Plumbing boat out front.
Well, we saw in the start you guys were pretty much deck to deck coming across that start line, but slowly you started to pull away, and I think you didn't look back after that.
No, you just got to be patient and let the race come to you. You know, we got some speed, so, you know, take advantage of it and don't do anything stupid. So go out there, hit your start, don't get any penalties, and let the race come to you.
Solid advice from a guy who seems to have this place figured out. The first round of the heat races are in the books. Up next, another set of heat races from the Guntersville HydroFest. The fight for the Southern Cup continues on the water next. Welcome back to Speed Sport 1's coverage of the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series. We're going to jump right back into the action with the next set of heat races. So here's Jeff Ayler and Brad Luce with the call.
It's going to be getting pretty close to time to put the foot down. You see Tate can't get into it yet. The others can, but now Andrew does. We are 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Mark. Boy, from my view, it looks like it's a legal start, but we'll get it from the officials. Andrew Tate on the inside was the first boat across the line. He broke the clock and looking down to turn number 1 first, and he's got the lead as he goes through the lower corner. Andrew Tate, but boy, has he got company. He's got Kelly, he's got Peabody, and he's got Eccles, but off the corner it is Andrew Tate. And then look on the outside, it is a legal start. It's a legal start, Jeff. Look at Corey Peabody on the outside, too.
Tate made a dynamite start in lane number 1, leads it in turn number 2. Corey Peabody is hauling the mail in second in Beacon Plumbing. Back in third, we got side-by-side action between Kelly and Eccles, but off the corner it'll be Tate in front, but Peabody charging hard in second. Your race is for first in 2A. Tate maintains that lead. They enter turn number 2. Peabody is there. Tate is there. Now they are side by side in turn number 2 at the apex.
You know I love to say this, Jeff, but this is as good as it gets in H1 Unlimited Racing. You've hooked up 2 boats side by side. There's Tate. There's Peabody. They're going to come down to pick up a white flag with 1 to go, and they're virtually going to be dead even. Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate. Tate by a boat length at the end of 2. Third place is going to go to Dustin Eccles. In the bucket list racing, J. Michael Kelly trails in 4th. Looking for Corey, and there he is. Sticks his nose out about a boat length, Jeff.
Beautiful dueling here in Guntersville. Waterboard Unlimited 2A. Peabody in front by a boat length. Tate flies the Goodman Real Estate. The battle is up in the front. Tate has the advantage on the inside, shorter way around. They are side by side again at the apex. Final turn, final lap of 2A.
Here at 400 points, laying right here at the finish line. Has Peabody got enough? Has Tate got acceleration? They're going to come down to pick up the checkers, and it's going to be Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. He will come home first. Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate, will come home in second place. Bucket list racing with Dustin Eccles in third, and J. Michael Kelly will come home in 4th place.
Corey Peabody now with his second heat win, definitely has the momentum here at H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. The target will be on his back. Last year's defending winner from here at Guntersville. It's going to be a tough one, but I'll tell you, you got the momentum on your side this time.
You're right, the momentum's on our side, but there's still other boats out there. They're super fast. Really looking forward to getting that Beacon Plumbing 9 boat out front and bringing home the victory again.
Well, the wind's picked up a little bit. Any thoughts in your head? Any adjustments you might go back before you climb back in?
We might have to do some adjustments on the boat, but right now the wind's coming in hard, and it's a bit nerve-wracking right now because our boats don't like the wind, but we'll see what happens in the next few minutes and we'll go from there.
Heat 2B had all the drama and excitement that you'd come to expect in an H1 Unlimited Hydro race. Jamie Nilsson had the early lead, but as the field started the second lap, Jimmy King stormed to the front in his piston-powered machine. The two boats would battle it out for a bit, but in the end, it was Jimmy King who went on to take the win in the heat. Unfortunately, it was determined in post-race inspection that King went below the 80 miles per hour limit in the pre-race milling period, and therefore was stripped of the heat win. Dave Arnold caught up with the U3 driver after the race.
Jimmy King was first across the line, but unfortunately with an official's ruling was DQ'd in that. Jimmy, it was unfortunate there, but that wasn't the only issue that plagues you. I guess there were some motor issues involved also.
Well, I didn't know him from inside. What's plagued us from moving on was the issue of the motor. We had enough oil in the system to get it through. Oil pressure never dropped. Kept on going. When we got in here, found out that that motor was done for the weekend. It's time to move on and get ready for the next one.
Well, like you said, getting ready for the next one, it gives you a little momentum, some time to get the motor fixed back in as we head off into Indiana.
Exactly. So it's overall disappointing to be sitting here for the final, but the progress that we made with the boat this weekend, we're all very happy about it, and they got something to worry about when we come up next weekend.
So when one driver has disappointment, it usually means another driver experiences joy. And in this case, it was Jamie Nilsson who was awarded the heat win after King's disqualification. Here's Dave with the new winner.
Jamie, it's tough for Jimmy, but I'll tell you, it worked out well for you now, coming out with the 2B win.
Yeah, for sure. I feel bad for the U3 guys and Jimmy King. I mean, we had a great race out there. I hope the fans liked it just as much as we did because we had a blast. But you know, that's racing. There's firm rules in place, and unfortunately he came out on the short end of that. But the U11 Legend Yacht Transport will gladly take our 400 points and keep moving forward. These Unlimited Hydroplanes, they're the biggest, fastest closed course race boats in the world. So to have the opportunity to drive one and have 3,000 horsepower on your right foot is pretty incredible.
Well, we'll have to see how it all turns out for Jimmy Nilsson as he gets ready for the third heat here, and of course, the battle in the final.
One more set of heat races to go before we get to the 5-lap final to determine who takes home this year's Southern Cup. It's all going down here on Speed Sport 1. More from Guntersville is coming up next.
We all love to travel across this great nation to cool events like Guntersville HydroFest. And when we do, we like to get a little taste of the local flair.
Welcome to Guntersville, where you get to experience Southern hospitality at its finest.
The town of Guntersville has been fantastic, welcoming us with open arms and showing us how a town can get behind and support a variety of national headlining events like H1 Hydroplane Series.
Lake Guntersville HydroFest is a great boat racing event for our entire community. And actually my granddad was the chairman of the very first boat races in 1939. So we have a long history of boat racing in Guntersville. Our community loves it. It's a community event. We have so many volunteers, like 600 volunteers that help put this event on. But it's just a great weekend overall for people to come enjoy the lake in a different perspective. You don't see these big boats on the water every day in, day out. So it's a great event for people to come experience. Speed on the water.
Guntersville was all in on hosting the large amount of fans and competitors that were in town, throwing awesome activities like the street party, where folks were able to get up close and personal with the boats and drivers.
This year we actually had a street party for the first time, which was a lot of fun. We did that Thursday night to kind of kick off the event. We'll see about 20,000 people here over the course of this weekend. And they come from 25 different states. And then of course, our local county and communities nearby. So this event in 2 days generates over $3 million in economic impact. So it's a pretty important event for a community of our size.
Big thanks to the town of Guntersville and Marshall County for the renowned Southern hospitality. We can't wait to come back and do it all again next year.
You said it all, Dave. Guntersville is an amazing place to visit and experience these hydros in person. Fans from all over should flock to next year's race if they want to experience it for themselves. Don't miss out. The boats are back on the water. Here's Jeff Ayler and Brad Luce with the call.
You said it's about a 12-second run off the top of the corner. Boy, they're going to be tight. Kelly's got room in there. They come off the corner at about 10 seconds. Here comes the run. We are inside 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Boy, by my watch, Jeff, they were all a tad early, but we'll call them the way they are on the water. I don't think there's much question that running was across. The start is under review.
All three jumped the gun according to H1 Unlimited. Andrew Tate, your leader, make it a 3-boat length advantage over the Beacon Electric. Dylan Runny falling back in third in Home Street. Brad off the corner. There's Tate, there's Kelly.
It is Andrew Tate still trying to hold off J. Michael Kelly. Dylan Runny has fallen back a little bit in the home street. This is going to come down to a Tate-Kelly showdown.
Tate, your leader. Kelly still chases in second, but right now we're at the point Kelly might pull. Let Tate go get those 400. Dylan Runny remains in third in Miss Home Street. Final turn, final lap. Andrew Tate, Goodman Real Estate in front.
Off the top end of the race course. If he can just finish this last piece of straightaway, and he's going to be able to do it, Andrew Tate, U91, Goodman Real Estate is going to pick up 400 points on the water. J. Michael Kelly gave it a valiant effort, but could not run down the 91 Goodman Real Estate. Watching one of the drone shots and coming up the backstretch there, sometimes these boats get spread apart quite a ways. They were not. There was only about 10 feet wide between those boats. As they went up the backstretch, they've opened it up a little bit now. Inside 25 seconds, now 20 until the start. It's only about 12 off that corner. They might be a little bit early, coming up on 12 seconds right now, and they are to the exit pin. This should be good. Nielsen in 1, Peabody in 2. On the outside, it's Eccles. We're inside 5 seconds. We are 3, 2, 1. Mark, and there goes Corey Peabody. He gets the jump on the field. He broke the clock from lane number 2. Broke the clock, meaning the first one across the line. The start is legal. And on the inside, now on the outside, there you see Corey Peabody. Nielsen is there on the inside, back a couple of boat breaks. And somewhere on the outside, you can see the rooster tail out there, our top qualifier, Dustin Eccles. But they're running 3 wide down the backstretch. And once again, Corey Peabody is off to the races, Jeff.
Peabody in front, flying up the back straightaway. Dustin Eccles is hitting in the rooster tail. Now we go to the drone shot. Peabody in 2. Now Nielsen will tighten it up on the inside. He will go to second. Eccles in third. Peabody in front. Deck to deck dueling for second.
Watch out for Dustin. Where is he? There he is. He slides to the outside. Corey Peabody. We're going to go 3 times around. The start was legal. Peabody. He's got 1 up and 1 down with 2 to go. Then it's Nielsen on the inside. Dustin Eccles. He needs those second place points, Jeff, but he's having to ride a big race course right now because he is on the outside of Corey Peabody. Look at Nielsen. Stay with Corey on the inside. Legend Yacht Transport not going away from that left side mirror on Corey Peabody. The boat driving the hardest right now is Dustin Eccles in Bucket List Racing. He needs those second place points.
We're at the halfway mark of Allen Land Surveying. Unlimited 3B, Corey Peabody comfortably in front, but the story in 3B is the second place battle between Jamie Nielsen and Dustin Eccles. Nielsen obviously with the advantage, running the shorter way around on the buoy row. Eccles needs to try to pass Nielsen, get those 300 points. Peabody in front. Brad, it's side by side dueling for second.
Coming down to put 2 in the books with 1 to go. Corey Peabody getting a great boat ride, but it is Jamie Nielsen driving the daylights out of that Legend Yacht Transport. He is hanging on to second place. He knows how big this is for Dustin. Dustin knows he's got to get those second place points. He wants to be on the front row of the final. But Jeff, he is driving that big race course, having to be on the outside of Corey Peabody's wash. Peabody's gone, got a rooster tail and a half, and now look at Nielsen in the Legend Yacht Transport, got almost a rooster tail on Eccles.
Peabody in front, Nielsen now comfortably in second. Eccles tried to get as close to Peabody's rooster tail to cover less real estate, got a little wet, then had to swing outside. 1, 2, 3 in 3B, Peabody, Nielsen, Eccles. Brad, bring him to the checkered flag.
Top end of the race course, Corey Peabody. Nobody has solved this puzzle yet this weekend. Checkered flag flies. Corey Peabody, Beacon Plumbing U9 will pick up the win on the water for 400 points. Jamie Nielsen with a great run in Legend Yacht Transport, and it's Dustin Eccles with a solid third place finish. Oh boy, and now the point totals are going to be fruit salad. It's looking good, Jeff. The boat is running like a rocket. What more he says. And when he says that, we know what he's talking about. He's talking about that final heat.
Confidence coming from the Corey Peabody camp. Everyone else might be in trouble. Our Dave Arnold has been roaming the Guntersville lake grounds and found a familiar face. Dave, who'd you find?
Cash LaCroix, so cool to run into. We're in your hometown. We got hydroplanes on the water. How cool is that?
It's definitely real cool. It's totally different from what we were doing a week ago, but it's cool to come out here and watch it just 5 minutes down the road.
What do you think about this racing here compared to what you guys do?
It's definitely not side-by-side racing. They're going 100 mile an hour more than we are, but it's pretty cool. It's crazy.
Well, we saw a qualifier do 171 miles an hour on the water. Now, I know you wakeboard, you ride jet skis on the lake. 171 miles an hour, is that insane or what?
On the water, even like on land, that's crazy. But on water, it's just, because I've been on the jet ski going like 80, and that feels like you're going Mach 90.
Were you ready to go jump in one? I think I'd find one to throw you in there.
Yeah, I want to go see what it's like.
And Cash got to see it all up close. Here he is checking out the cockpit, and he even got to climb in and experience the fit for himself. But before we knew it, the hatch closed and the U-91 slowly crept away from the dock. Cash, where are you going? Cash! Boy, I sure hope he returns it soon.
When I get in, I slide in and we have the same routine every single time. Right after the gloves go on, I give my guys a handshake and then they close the lid and I lock it. It's go time.
Game on. When that cockpit shuts, it's 100% focus. You can't think about anything else, and it's all about doing your job for that moment.
When you're in race mode, you're just in the zone.
That's when the focus really starts. Things get really real, and just kind of get into your zone that you found is most successful for you over all the years that we've all been racing.
Once you get strapped in and you go through everything and you're kind of waiting for the countdown, it's just time to yourself. You want to relax, visualize what you're going to do once you get out there.
By the time I'm in the boat, everything's pretty much done, and then it's up to me. As long as I have the information I need, then I can go out there and do the job. I try not to think about too many things.
Give that last handshake before that lid closes, and then we go out there and you got all your strategies, and most of those strategies go out the window right when you hit the race course. You never know what's going to happen.
When that lid closes and that thing lights up, it's an experience you can't explain.
Yeah, like I said, game on.
Game on! You heard it there straight from the drivers. They're ready, we're ready. Are you ready for the final? Well, ready or not, it's time for the 5-lap shootout for the Southern Cup. For the call, let's go back to Jeff and Brad.
Brad Luce, we are 45 seconds away from the start. Bring us to the green flag for the Southern Cup Championship.
All right, the boats are up at the top end of the race course. Kelly is definitely early at 35 seconds. There's an old line in boat racing, Jeff. You don't want to overpay for that inside lane. Let's hope he did not. And then you had the lanes correctly as they come off the top end of the course. Kelly's going to be in 1. It is going to be Tate in 2. It's going to be Peabody in 3. Runny in 4. Nielsen's going to come to the outside. We're still 14 seconds from the start. Kelly is crawling up here. So's the rest of them. Go, Jamie Nielsen, go. We are at 5 seconds. We are at 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Jamie Nielsen is going to trail the home street across start-finish line, but Nielsen's got the boat speed. Down to the lower end of the race course, I think Kelly clearly jumped the gun, but we're going to call them as they are on the water. We'll see what comes out. It is Corey Peabody from lane number 3.
Andrew Tate's over. Andrew Tate's over. Andrew Tate is over in turn 1 in Miss Goodman Real Estate. Red flag.
The red flag is out, so let's take a look from the view inside Andrew Tate's U91 ride. And you can see as the boats in front of him turn, he ends up in the wake and rolls over. From there, it's all about getting out of the boat quickly, but as calmly as possible. Here's a view from the U40 boat coming up of Dustin Eccles. As the trail boat, Eccles arrives just after Tate rolled over, and without being able to see the U91, had a bumpy ride over the bottom side of the Miss Madison Racing entry. Thankfully, Andrew Tate is easily able to climb out of his upside-down boat. Hopefully, the only thing bruised besides the damage to the boat may be a little ego. But you can be sure that Tate is frustrated with how this race came to an end. We'll hear from him coming up next. In the time it took to clear the heavily damaged boats, the weather found its way into the region and caused an extended break that led to the race being called official. Let's take another look at the wild ride Andrew Tate took. You can see Tate was a little behind the leaders entering the first turn, and that put him in the wake of the boats ahead of him. His boat rolled over, ending up upside down, and then was run over by the U40 of Dustin Eccles. Eccles had no way of seeing the flipped over U91 until it was too late and ran over the right rear corner of the boat. Thankfully, all parties involved were okay and no injuries have been reported. Dave caught up with Andrew Tate to talk about the quick end of his race.
We're here with Andrew Tate. Unfortunate in the finale, you had a little bit of a blowover there. Good thing you're okay. We saw you upside down. You got out of the escape hatch. But what a bummer due to inclement weather. It's coming in, not able to complete the final.
Yeah, it's disappointing for not only our team and the damage sustained to the hull, but Guntersville's the big loser here. We didn't get the race in, and they didn't get to see final. Everyone's been hanging out all weekend waiting for this, and sorry guys, I guess you could blame me.
Well, one of the things that H1 Unlimited is such a fast, fun class, but when things go bad, they can go bad real quick.
Yeah, things happen quick out there, but we got off our timing marks a little bit at the start and got down to that first turn behind everyone, and that's at the end of the day, that's the cause of the accident.
Well, what are your plans? Madison, Indiana going to be good?
I sure hope so. We have some evaluating to do here with the hull and understand what's broke, what we need to fix, and how quick we can do it, and make sure we put it back together right before we get it back in the water. But I sure hope so.
Well, you heard it right there, Andrew Tate. He's fine, the blowover, but we'll have to see how it plays out. And if they get it back together, it makes the appearance in Madison, Indiana.
Best of luck to the Madison racing team to get that turned around for their home race. The other driver involved in the wreck was Dustin Eccles. Here's what he had to say about the incident that ended his chances to claim his first Southern Cup.
With a crazy finale on the start, Andrew Tate got a blowover. An unfortunate Dustin Eccles right in front of you that happened. You got caught up in the aftermath.
Yeah, you know, we were the trailer boat, so we had to start behind, and I didn't ever see him go over. I didn't know he was over until he was right in front of me. It's a white underside of the boat, and there's white water everywhere. And you know, I felt the big impact of when we hit. I told my spotter that we ran over someone that had crashed. At the time, the spotters didn't realize there was a crash. So, yeah, it was definitely a shock. You know, I didn't see him coming.
You got a little nose end damage. It looks like one of the Skags got a little damage there. Is that going to affect you going into Madison, Indiana?
It really could. There's a lot of damage on this thing. It doesn't look terrible, but you know, the fin the skid fin is fixable. Kelly Stockman can fix that, he can machine it. The hull itself though has a lot of structural damage. So we're gonna have to get in there, see how bad it is, and then we'll go from there.
We're gonna have to wait and see how it all turns out. Dustin Eccles, fortunate incident he got caught up in, but we'll see if he can recover, regroup, and make an appearance in Madison, Indiana.
Since the race was called official before the final, by H1 Unlimited rules, the winner is determined by points earned leading into the final. And with that, Corey Peabody defends his win here at Guntersville to take the top spot again this season. Andrew Tate gets second by points, and Jamie Nielsen rounds out the podium for the 2023 Guntersville Lake HydroFest. Dave caught up with the two-time winner as the rainstorm approached.
Corey, I know it's not the way you wanted to come out with the win. You're defending champion from last year, or I should say the winner from last year in Guntersville. But coming into this weekend, you had a lot more high hopes for taking the finale.
Yeah, we wanted to really put on a good race for the fans, and you know, we had the start of a good race there in the final. But you know, these boats get upside down in a hurry. I'm glad Andrew's okay. I'm glad the bucket list, you know, after Andrew blew over, the 40 drove over the top of them, and they had a lot of damage. So it's, you know, it's unfortunate. I know we were there last year. We destroyed our boat last year at the next race in Madison, but you know, that's racing. So.
Well, you're definitely going to come out of here as the guru of Guntersville now with back-to-back wins 2 years in a row. Plans going into Madison, everything, you know, little adjustments?
There'll be some adjustments. It's a completely different course, long and skinny, so lots of adjustments, lots of stuff, lots of just complete different setups. So Madison's a totally different animal, and I'm excited to get down there and get going, so I'm ready to hit the road.
Round 2 of the 2023 H1 Unlimited Hydroplane racing season is the Madison Regatta on the Ohio River in Madison, Indiana. It's the home race for the Madison racing team and the next chance for the teams and drivers to prove who's the best as they battle for the Governor's Cup. See it all on Speed Sport 1.
Well, that's a wrap here from Guntersville, Alabama. A beautiful weekend it started out, but weather became a factor. Heat racing was great. Corey Peabody, 3 straight heat wins, which will give him the overall. The reason is, unfortunately, a blowover by Andrew Tate would cause the race to end early, and Mother Nature would not cooperate. So as we come out of Alabama, round number 1, Corey Peabody, the guru of Guntersville, will take the win. So make sure you turn into Speed Sport 1 for all the great coverage, and we'll bring you round 2 from Madison, Indiana.
Thanks for watching the H1 Unlimited Hydros and the 2023 Southern Cup. For Dave Arnold, Jeff Ayler, and Brad Luce, I'm Ralph Shaheen. We'll catch you the next time we're out on the water. Don't miss it. It's the world's fastest water sport, only on Speed Sport 1.